Do you know what truly separates you from the billions of people walking the earth right now? It isn't luck, and it is not a coincidence. The real difference is courage, but not the everyday courage people borrow when life is calm and their risks are small. I'm speaking about a kind of courage so rare, so intense, so impossible to imitate, that it caused the devil himself to pause what he was doing and direct his attention toward one human being in a way he has in 6,000 years. He chose you, and when I say noticed, I'm not talking about ordinary temptation or the basic struggles that every human being experiences. This was a deliberate, calculated observation. Out of billions of souls, they examined all of them, dismissed almost everyone, and concluded that you alone possessed something they desperately needed and could not manufacture on their own. You have courage that not even demons can break. Over the past weeks, while you were standing alone in situations that should have crushed you, while you were facing fears that would make most people collapse immediately, while you were making decisions no one around you was strong enough to make, something was watching closely. It was not only the higher realms observing quietly. The lower realms were watching too, because you did something they believed a human being should not be capable of doing. You stared directly at the worst possible outcome of your life, felt fear flooding every part of your body, and still chose to move forward anyway. And when you showed that bravery with no audience, no applause, no reward, no one there to validate you, the devil understood something that made him furious and impressed at the same time. You cannot be bought, you cannot be scared into obedience, and you cannot be broken. So listen carefully. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on all notifications. If you want to understand why the devil personally shifted his focus toward you, stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will shatter the way you've been taught to think about spiritual warfare and the kind of warrior you truly are. Stay until the end, because I'm going to point to the exact moment the forces of darkness registered your courage as unique in modern history, why that recognition triggered divine protection that makes you untouchable, and what identity you confirmed through bravery that even angels do not carry in the same form. If you've faced something terrifying recently and you're ready to learn why your courage caught the attention of both heaven and hell, write 777 in the comments. Now let me tell you something most people never realize. The devil is not threatened by religious performance. He isn't afraid of people who talk about faith all day. He isn't intimidated by routines that can be repeated without inner transformation. He is not frightened by someone who prays loudly while living timidly, or someone who fasts while still being ruled by fear, or someone who attends sacred places while secretly choosing comfort over integrity. Why? Because religiosity can be copied, spirituality can be acted out, but real courage, the kind that keeps moving when every sign screams, "Stop," cannot be faked, not even for a moment. And you demonstrated that kind of courage recently, whether you understand it or not. Remember that night, that specific Tuesday around 3 in the morning, when your mind refused to let you sleep. You stared at the ceiling, trapped inside a decision that felt impossible, and every option looked like loss. Your stomach churned. Your fear wasn't just emotional, it was physical, heavy, real, pressing against your chest. You ran the calculations again and again, mapping every way it could go wrong, replaying every consequence, seeing the worst outcomes in sharp detail, feeling the crushing responsibility of knowing that whatever you chose would change something permanently. Hours passed like that until you reached that strange window between 4 and 5 in the morning, where exhaustion strips away excuses and your soul tells the truth. And you chose. Not the easiest one, not the safest one, the right one. The one that aligned with your values even though it would cost you. And at that exact moment, something extraordinary happened. In dimensions you cannot see, alarms went off. There exists a system within the lower realms that tracks moments when a human soul faces absolute fear and still chooses to act. That moment was recorded. Why does this matter? Because the entire structure of darkness depends on fear. Fear is the currency. Fear paralyzes. Fear convinces people to surrender before the battle even begins. Every strategy relies on making you believe you cannot continue. But when a soul appears that fully feels fear and still moves forward, the system is threatened at its core. That 3 a.m. decision was recorded as an anomaly, an event that should not exist according to their calculations. They expected you to fold. They invested pressure into that night. They amplified your fear. They distorted the scenario to look larger, darker, more dangerous. They fed your mind with what if after what if, hoping you would retreat. And you moved forward anyway, not because you didn't feel fear, but because you did. You trembled. You questioned yourself. You considered giving up. But something deeper than logic, deeper than survival instinct, rose up and said, "I do this even with fear." That is the kind of courage demons cannot process, because it denies them the leverage they rely on. Here is what will shock you. Exactly 7 days after that decision, the devil called an emergency council with the princes of hell. Not because of world events. Not because of some massive global crisis, not because of a routine operation, because of you. What you did broke a statistical pattern the darkness has used for centuries to predict human behavior. You became a mathematical problem they could not solve. The highest commanders were summoned to analyze your spiritual profile and answer one question. How can an ordinary human with no special training, no military conditioning, no formal psychological preparation, demonstrate courage that rivals celestial warriors? They presented their report, and it left the devil himself silent for 3 full minutes, because they discovered something deeply unsettling. You do not act out of blindness. You are not reckless. You are not unaware. You calculate risk. You understand consequences. You see exactly what can go wrong. You feel fear completely, and then you act anyway. That is the kind of bravery angels admire and demons fear. One observed that you process fear without denial and without paralysis. Another noted that in every scenario tested, you chose the most difficult but principled path. Another recognized that you rejected shortcuts even when they would have solved immediate problems. And then, something happened that had never happened before. Respect. Not admiration. Respect. A recognition that forced a change in strategy. Because you are not someone who can be corrupted. Now comes the part that will send a chill through you. After weeks of analysis, the devil made an unprecedented move. He decided to make you an offer. Not the cheap temptations he throws at anyone. Not the obvious bait like quick fame or easy money. This was a specific proposal reserved for souls he deems worthy of respect. He offered you an alliance. And before you think, I never received any offer. Let me explain how this works. Demons don't appear with paperwork. They test through real situations. Remember that opportunity that appeared a few days ago, the one that seemed almost too perfect, the one that would have solved your financial problems instantly. The person made it easy. They insisted. It looked like it was basically placed in your hands. But there was a small detail, a tiny concession, a minor compromise of principle you would need to make. Nothing dramatic. Nothing that would immediately harm someone in a visible way. Just enough to bend your values. And deep down you knew it wasn't right and you said no, maybe politely, maybe with gratitude, but you refused, even though it would have relieved pressure in the short term. That was a test. Or remember that moment last Thursday when revenge was available, when the person who hurt you was vulnerable, when you could have taken your shot and no one would have known, and by human standards, they might have deserved it. But you didn't. Not because you were weak, not because you were afraid of consequences, but because something inside you cannot operate through revenge, even when it feels justified. That was also a test. The offer, in its real form, was this: "You have the courage I need. Work with me and you'll never have to be courageous alone again. I'll give you power, resources, protection. All you have to do is stop caring so much about what's right and start focusing on what works." That offer is tempting when you are exhausted, when you've been fighting alone, when it feels like no one sees your effort, when doing the right thing has only brought resistance and delay. But you refused. Maybe you didn't even label it as a spiritual decision. Maybe you just felt the discomfort and stepped back. That inner line in you rose up and said, "This isn't clean." And when you refused, the devil learned something that forced an even more shocking decision. He marked you as untouchable. Not because he suddenly became kind, but because he recognized you as the type of warrior he will never corrupt. And even in hell there is a twisted rule. When you encounter an adversary who proves incorruptible, you stop wasting resources on direct attack and you begin observing. You became so consistently courageous that the devil decided it was better to leave you alone than to keep losing credibility by trying to break someone who will not bend. But here is what the devil didn't understand while he was testing you with offers and watching your choices. God was watching too, from an entirely different angle. For the devil, your courage was a threat to recruit or neutralize. For God, your courage was confirmation of what he has known about you since before you were born. You are not an ordinary soul living an ordinary earthly story. You are a consciousness designed to hold steady when others collapse, built to maintain courage in environments where fear normally wins. Let me explain this in a way your spirit will recognize. Before incarnation, souls choose their path. Most choose relatively manageable experiences, a life with comfort and challenges that can be carried without extreme pressure. But there is a rare category of souls that choose difficulty on purpose. They volunteer for complicated circumstances, intense fears, emotional deserts because they came to develop a specific spiritual strength. These are warrior souls, and you are one of them. God did not punish you with hardship. You chose these experiences before you ever arrived here because you knew you needed them to forge courage beyond ordinary human capacity. And when the devil started testing you, offering shortcuts and trying to recruit your bravery, God watched to see whether you would remain true to your original programming even without conscious memory of it. You did. Each time you chose the hard but correct path, you proved that the warrior essence you built into yourself before birth remained intact. Every act of courage was evidence that you stayed connected to your purpose, even through the veil of forgetfulness that comes with incarnation. And when God watched you refuse that alliance instinctively, when he saw you hold your principles under pressure, when he witnessed you being brave with no audience and no reward, he summoned the archangels for his own counsel. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, all called to review the record of your recent choices, and their conclusion was unanimous. You are operating as a warrior soul at a level that rivals celestial entities. Michael recognized that your courage is structural, not learned part of your essence. Gabriel noted that even the devil acknowledged you, and he rarely admits a worthy adversary exists. Raphael observed that wounds that should have broken you instead forged you stronger. Uriel declared that you are a celestial warrior experiencing human vulnerability, and the courage remained intact. And at that moment, God made a decision that will transform your life. He chose to intervene directly, not because you are weak, but because you have proven enough. There is a protocol, rare and powerful, triggered only when a soul demonstrates courage so consistent it no longer requires testing. When it becomes clear that nothing will break this person, nothing will corrupt them, nothing will make them abandon what is right, you have been classified in that category. This means heaven has issued orders that you will not face battles without resources to win. You will not be forced into situations where survival demands betrayal of your principles. You will not be left to stand alone the way you've been standing. You have already proven you can carry courage by yourself for long enough. Now the reward phase begins. The financial knots that have tightened around you will begin to loosen in ways you did not plan. The toxic relationships that drain your energy will begin to fall away without you having to wage war to remove them. Doors you needed that refused to open will begin to open at the exact right time. Not because of luck, but because of coordinated divine intervention, guided by forces that now have specific instructions to support your path. And there is more. God didn't only decide to protect you, He decided to promote you. From this point forward, you are not just a lone warrior fighting your private battles. You have been recruited as a divine agent whose purpose is to awaken courage in others through your example. Your presence will start doing something strange and undeniable. People around you will begin making braver choices simply because they have been near you, because your frequency activates what is dormant in them. That quiet person who meets you and suddenly finds strength to speak up. That friend who was ready to quit and after one conversation with you decides to try once more. That person who sees you refuse the easy wrong path and realizes they can do the same. That is your assignment activating. You have become a living transmitter of courage. Your role is not to fight darkness directly, it is to live courageously, to show that fear does not decide the future. Each person you inspire becomes a spark for others. A network forms. When enough of you are in position, fear loses its grip. Then something even more shocking happened. After that rage, the devil issued an order that stunned even ancient demons. You are to be left completely alone. Not only do direct attacks stop, but interference stops. No temptations, no manipulations, no engineered obstacles meant to shake you. You have been placed on a list of adversaries deemed not worth the resource cost because they do not fold. There are very few living humans in that category. Why would darkness do that? Because when dark forces try to intimidate someone who has already proven unshakable, they lose credibility. They get exposed. And in the distorted survival code of hell, looking weak is worse than admitting defeat. So instead of continuing to lose by trying to break you, the devil declared you forbidden territory, not as kindness, but as recognition earned through consistent courage. Do not interfere. Let them walk their path. But now you deserve the full truth, because your courage did not come from nowhere. It wasn't created only by hardship. You were born with it. When the higher realms examined your essence, they discovered what explains everything. You are not simply a human soul who developed bravery over time. You are a celestial warrior who chose to temporarily experience human vulnerability. Before birth, you belonged to angelic legions, not as a common guardian, but as a specialist in missions requiring extreme courage. Those assignments where not everyone volunteers because they're too dangerous, you were the one who raised your hand. When a position needed to be held against overwhelming force, when a line needed to be guarded with no guarantee of comfort, you were chosen because you endured. But at a certain point you mastered courage within the celestial realm, where you have power, allies, certainty, and support. And you wanted to answer a deeper question. Can courage remain if I forget who I am? If I become vulnerable? If I feel fear the way humans do? If I stand alone without remembering my rank? So you volunteered for the hardest mission, incarnation. You came here to test whether courage is truly yours. Not as a role, not as armor, but as essence. And you passed. You remained brave without remembering you were a warrior. You held principles without remembering why they mattered. You stayed upright while feeling genuine human fear for the first time. That means you are not learning courage. You are remembering it. And now that the test has been confirmed, the memories begin to stir. Flashes. Dreams that feel like battles you never lived in this lifetime. Deja vu in moments that should be unfamiliar. Knowledge that arrives without study. This is not imagination. It is restoration. Fragments of celestial consciousness returning because the mission is complete and your original function is being reactivated while you are still in human form. In the coming months, you will notice it. You will be drawn toward places where courage is needed. You will find yourself present in moments where someone is about to surrender to fear, and your example gives them strength to choose differently. It won't feel like coincidence anymore. It will feel like positioning, because it is. And as you operate in this role, inspiring bravery simply by how you live, your own life will begin to move with surprising ease. God does not ask warriors to fight alone forever. He tests until the fiber is proven, then supplies what is necessary. Provision will come from unexpected places. The right opportunity will arrive with uncanny timing. The wrong people will exit without dramatic struggle. The right people will appear and align. Not luck, support. And the more you embody this courage publicly, the more your frequency strengthens. You will walk into environments and feel collective fear dissolve. You will speak and watch someone's spine straighten. You will make a principled decision and realize you just gave permission for others to do the same. You are becoming a catalyst for courage on a scale that logic alone cannot explain. And here is why this is happening now. Humanity is at a critical threshold, a choice point between evolving into a higher consciousness or collapsing backward into primitive fear that paralyzes entire societies. Darkness knows this. That's why fear is being amplified everywhere. Fear of the future, fear of each other, fear of change, fear of loss, fear of not being enough. Because fearful people are controllable people. Courageous people are not easy to manipulate, so God is activating warrior souls like you, individuals who have proven fear does not govern them. Consciousness is stable enough to act as antidotes to the epidemic of terror being spread. Your mission is not to wrestle darkness head-on in dramatic battles. Your mission is simpler and more powerful. Live courageously. Make courageous choices. Hold your integrity under pressure. Move forward while fear is present. Because every time you do, you show others it can be done. And every person you inspire becomes a spark for others. And that becomes a chain reaction. And that becomes a network. You will begin recognizing other warriors like you. Not through labels, but through resonance. You will feel it. They will feel it. And when enough of you are awake and positioned, fear loses its grip as a tool of control. It doesn't matter how loud terror becomes when there are enough living examples proving that courage is possible. That is why the devil marked you, because he recognized you are not only courageous, you are operationally courageous, activated on a mission he cannot stop. So, chosen one, now you know the truth. Your courage is not a personality quirk. It is not only the result of hardship. It is the essence of a celestial warrior carried from before birth, preserved even when you forgot who you were, and when your bravery became so consistent that even darkness had to acknowledge it. A divine protocol activated, transforming you from tested warrior into supported agent. Your life will no longer be defined by fighting alone. It will be defined by inspiring courage in many while receiving full support to keep walking your path. If this revelation names something you've always felt but never had words for, if it finally explains why you face fear differently, then you already know. You are not an ordinary person trying to become brave. You are courage incarnate, temporarily experiencing human vulnerability. If you're ready to claim that consciously, write 777 in the comments and let that signal go out. Subscribe and turn on notifications if you want more revelations about how your warrior essence operates beyond ordinary fear, and share this with someone who carries that same unexplainable fire, because celestial warriors are meant to recognize each other and strengthen the network. And before you go, click the next video on your screen to discover how your courage activated the protection of the most powerful archangels, now assigned to ensure you have the resources you need to continue the mission, because together we are stronger.